Hi everyone, Rosemary from Rosemary Astrology. Well, the week of December 15th to the 21st brings some relief, good news. On the 15th, Mercury stations direct. So coming out of his retrograde, remember, is still in post retrograde shadow until the 3rd of January. So I would say, still be wary of Mercury related items or topics. That includes buying ground transportation, so cars, bikes, trucks. It includes all tech gadgets or tech equipment, communication devices. Remember, Mercury is related to communication, and also by that same idea related to language. So things like cell phones and laptops, yes, they are communication devices, and at the same time, they use a language as well. They use code, so definitely fall under the purview of Mercury. Travel is also difficult, if you're still traveling over the holidays. Remember to make sure your ground transportation is in good working order. Don't take any chances. If you're traveling by another means, you can expect delays. Make sure you check times and dates again. There can be mix-ups. Gate numbers will suddenly change at the last minute or something. And of course, buying things like, as I said, ground transportation or tech equipment, make sure, you check the fine print. Mercury also rules commerce, so you check the fine print. Make sure, you have receipts, things are returnable. I always say, life can't stop for Mercury retrograde. Sometimes we have to go ahead anyway, but at the same time, we have to arm ourselves and be as careful as possible. For all of us, this has been in the ninth house of long distance travel, higher education. So again, in those areas, make sure you check everything. If you're signing up for university or college classes, make sure everything is sent in on time. Give yourself a lot of leeway in terms of time. Even call and make sure things have been received, because that's just the time when it'll be lost in the mail, or it was sent to the wrong department type of thing. There's just so many examples of Mercury retrograde. I've done more than one video on Mercury retrograde, but again, just we have to double check and triple check everything, and that's often the expression I use. At the same time that Mercury is stationing direct, there's going to be a full moon in Gemini. This is our area of communication for all of us. The sign that is ruled by Mercury sitting across, and of course associated with the third house. So whatever is familiar, our siblings, cousins, our day-to-day commutes, our short trips around town. It's also neighbors as well. So again, in opposition here, sometimes the sun is highlighting something, bringing our attention here, very much the idea of the rational mind with the sun. And this is where we're more emotional. So perhaps you're going to do something related to a ninth house topic. And, emotionally, you're sort of thinking, oh, am I going to leave my familiar surroundings? Or what does that mean? Or perhaps, people are like, oh, are you really going away to school? Or, are you sure you're taking this trip type of thing? Or are you sure you want to do this? It's sort of the back and forth between the familiar and the foreign, or even I could say, the unknown. Remember, the ninth house also relates to things like philosophy, the metaphysical. It's also publishing, widespread communication, the media, the web. It's even propaganda as well. It's organized religions. So sometimes it's the idea of back and forth between, what is familiar to us and what is different, or, what is true about everything that's going on there. It's sort of that idea when I say, mass media, all these ideas of what we should think, or different life outlooks, or, different points of view. And then this is very much our communication, our thought process, our way of expressing ourselves. So again, you get that idea of back and forth here, sort of sorting out, in the third house, we sort through a lot of things. And then across in the ninth house, we try to synthesize it into, our life beliefs and our life outlook, or what we know or what we believe is true, or our view of life, if I can put it that way. And then finally, on the 21st, the sun is going to shift into Capricorn. For all of us, that brings a focus on our area of success. It can be career. Often we associate career with the 10th house, but sometimes you're striving for success in another area. The 10th house in ancient astrology was the house of public reputation. There weren't very many careerists, I guess, in ancient Rome or in ancient Greece, unless you were in the Senate or something. But that idea of awards, achievements, a new title. I sometimes joke the corner office recognition, public recognition. So, so obviously can be career, but sometimes people will say, no, I'm an artist and I'm striving to have a solo show. I have a job, but that's not where I'm seeking success. I want to have a solo show, or I want to be recognized as an authority. There's an idea of status here as well. I want to be recognized as an authority on this certain topic. So you're invited to be a keynote speaker at something. A marker of success. Everybody can see that you're the expert, or you have the status in this area. It's also people who outrank us on this ladder of success. So again, for all of us, authority figures, people above us on the ladder, bosses, superiors. It can be parental authority as well. It is also Capricorn in the 10th house associated with government and government institutions. So the sun could definitely be shedding light for all of us. And even we might see something coming up in terms of government policies and government institutions. The 10th house in Capricorn, and I'm going to wrap up on this and I'll try to be brief, but has been getting a lot of bad rap, I'll say, in the last few years because of Pluto and Capricorn and going, oh, look at what isn't working and look at the downside and this is so awful. And because Pluto's job is to show us what isn't working, what is corrupt, what needs to transform. But remember, there's always a good sign, a side to each sign. There's no, good sign, bad sign, black and white. There's a good side and a bad side. The idea of Capricorns often feel responsible for everyone. There's that idea of responsibility for the collective. That's why we have government institutions and government policy. That idea of, no one being left behind. There's a safety net. We're not back in medieval times when you were poor, well, too bad, and you'd get sick and die, or you'd almost, starve in the street and die type of thing. So that is what the essence of Capricorn in the 10th house is on its good side. And just remember, and I'm going off track here and I should do a whole video on this, but Pluto in Aquarius isn't going to be all love and light. Pluto is going to show us what isn't working here as well. And there is, a downside to Aquarius and to elements of the 11th house. And it can be something, quite dystopian, but I won't get into that. But having said this, for all of us, we might be examining these topics of, our road to success, the people above us. And again, in the collective, we could see something coming up because the sun is really, really adding light. The sun, interestingly, all of the planets can represent a person. And I don't always go into this, but the sun does represent a male energy, usually a man, but it can be a male energy. I don't like to reduce that just to either a man or a woman, but with a lot of authority, someone trustworthy, someone in did I say a position of authority? Because we are talking the 10th house. Sometimes we even give an age. So we put somewhere around, 35 to 45. I don't stick to that as hard and true, but I am giving you that idea of what persona energy is associated with the sun. So guys, that's what I wanted to tell you for this week. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.